I'm leaving.
That way. No.
You, not a victim. You just scream with boredom. You are not evicting time.
And I never get bored.
You know, like
really,
stones,
I never get bored because I can always change.
Stones get tired.
I'll draw a different picture this way or that way.
Stones get tired.
I like people who are AC/DC. You know what I mean? No, I'm not saying Bowie's the best.
I guess I'm living my fantasy.
What's your fantasy?
Bowie. He represents it all to me. Excitement, space. See, I'm just the space cadet. He's the commander.
You saw for a long period, or for certainly over the last couple of years, a lot of kids sort of aping you almost, or looking very like you, so that they would dress up and put things on very similar to you. How did you feel about it?
Well, a lot of it came out starting off like that, but over the last year or so it's changing, and in as much that they're finding out things maybe nothing to do with me, but the idea of finding another character within themselves. I mean, if I've been at all responsible for people finding more characters in themselves than they originally thought they had, then I'm pleased, because that's something I feel very strongly about, that one isn't totally what one has been conditioned to think one is. That there are many facets of the personality which a lot of us have trouble finding, and some of us do find too quickly.
He's from his own universe.
What universe is that?
Bowie universe.
Are you into the Bowie universe?
He's the center. I was drawn to it.
How were you drawn to it?
I'm from Phoenix, and I just came.
Please tread them gently, they don't like to fall. Oh, my jingle. There's no room for anger, we're all very small. Oh, my jingle. We're painting our faces and dressing in thoughts from the skies, from paradise. But they think that we're holding a secretive ball. Want someone invite them, they're just taller children. That's all. After all.
Somebody's accelerating very, very fast and you're not driving, and you get that thing in your chest when you're being forced backwards, and you think, ooh, and you're not sure whether you like it or not. It's that kind of feeling. That's what success was like. The first thrust of being totally unknown to being what seemed to be very quickly known. It was very frightening for me, and coping with it was something that I tried to do. And that's what happened. That was me coping. Some of those albums were me coping, taking it all very seriously, and I was. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control to Major Tom. 8, 7, 6. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3, 2. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can.
Wasn't it rather a dangerous thing to do, to play the roles?
Well, I didn't know. When you're that mixed up, and I've been mixed up, man. I mean, really, it was, one doesn't know. One half of me is putting a concept forward, and the other half is trying to sort out my own emotions.
Yes, excellent.
And a lot of my space creations are, in fact, facets of me, I have now since discovered. But I wouldn't even admit that to myself at the time. That I would put everything, just make everything a little kind of upfront personification of how I felt about things. Ziggy would be something, and it would relate to me now, I find. And Major Tom in Space Oddity was something. Aladdin Sane. They're all facets of me. And I wasn't really, I got lost at one point. I couldn't decide whether I was writing characters or whether the characters were writing me, or whether we were all one and the same.
And I cried for all the others till the day was nearly through, for I realized that God's a young man too.
Would you say that Ziggy was a monster?
Oh, he certainly was.
Ziggy played for time, jiving us up. We were voodoo, the kids was just crass. He was finesse, with God-given ass, but he took it all.
When I first wrote Ziggy, I mean, it was just an experiment. It was an exercise for me. And he really grew sort of out of proportion, I suppose. Got much bigger than I thought Ziggy was going to be. I didn't ever see Ziggy as big. Ziggy just overshadowed everything.